Hi, I'm James, and welcome to another Fuzzlecheck tutorial. In this video, we're going to look at working with online projects and access rights management in Fuzzlecheck 4. First, we'll look at converting a local file to an online project, and then we'll examine how to manage the access rights for those members of our team that will be joining us online. Now, in the good old days, if two people needed to work on the same project, for example, a second AD inputting elements and a first AD scheduling the show, the one person had to wait for the other to finish what they were doing before starting their equally necessary tasks. And then the file was loaded onto a disk drive, or later emailed back and forth. With the Fuzzlecheck 4 online versions, multiple team members can work on the same project simultaneously. There's no waiting around for email before you start your work. Working with an online version in Fuzzlecheck 4 means just as the name suggests, you must be connected to the internet for changes made to the project to be saved to the Fuzzlecheck servers. Now, here is the Fuzzlecheck 4 startup page. I'm working with the Unix edition of Fuzzlecheck 4, but working online follows the same principles regardless of the edition you're using. You'll see I'm logged in here so I can access my local projects and my online projects. The different logos denote whether a project is local, with a white icon, or online, with a blue icon with a white cloud. And from here, I can open a local project or an online one. We'll go with an online project, and here it's asking if I want to start a new project or convert an existing local file to an online project. Now, I have a project I've already started, and I'm going to be enlisting the help of some team members, so I'm going to convert that file to an online project. So I'm asked to locate my local file, and here it is on the desktop. Click on it and hit Open. Now, converting a local file to an online project requires a ticket that we would have purchased from the Fuzzlecheck website. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we will open it as a demo. Let it convert the file, and it's added to our list of online projects. Open it up here, and now we have our local file converted to an online project tucked away safely in the Fuzzlecheck servers. We see by the blue cloud button that we are online, and our user list is showing me as a nice green icon today. So click on the Users button, and it brings up our Access Rights Management window, and from here we can invite a collaborator. We'll type in Karis's email and click Add User. Now, the team members that will be collaborating with you do not need to purchase a license for Fuzzlecheck, but they do need to have the latest version of the software installed on their computer, and they need to be registered with Fuzzlecheck beforehand. We cover this in more detail in the tutorial getting started. They simply log in, and then they'll be able to see our project, Kepler and Myra, in their online project list. Now, we're able to collaborate on the project from anywhere, and any changes either of us make will be instantly uploaded to the Fuzzlecheck servers and visible in real time. Keep an eye on the blue cloud, and you'll see as I make a change, it instantly saves it to the servers. Now, what happens when I suddenly go offline? I'll turn off the Wi-Fi for a sec here, and you'll see that as soon as I make a change, the cloud goes from blue to yellow, signifying that we've lost contact with the servers. If I try to close the project, I get this alert here stating that there are outstanding changes that are not saved, and if I close the project, the changes will be uploaded the next time we are connected. Just be sure to alert your team members that you are not online. So we'll turn the Wi-Fi back on, and we are quickly reconnected, and everything is updated. Now, for the rest of this tutorial, we will cover access rights management. So let's jump forward in time a bit here, and now we have our project online with a few of our team collaborating with us. You can see here the Users button now has 4 little icons. And when I click on it, the Rights Access window opens and shows that the production office and the first AD are online with us. Now, if you're curious as to what everyone has been up to while we were away, we can open the activity log here under Edit. Across the top, you see the online users, and if we scroll up and down the activity window, you see that every input from every user has been logged. Here's a description of the activity, and here's the user responsible. For example, here the production office added this note about stunt contracts to strip 22 part 3. You'll notice that some of the activity logs have a small arrow after them, and that enables you to shortcut to the strip or window that the log pertains to. If the strip isn't already in view in the main window, clicking the arrow will alter the board so it's visible. If it's a note, say, for a specific actor, the arrow will take you to that actor's management window, like so. Now, with a number of users all working on the same project, this activity log is going to get pretty long quite quickly, but you have the ability to narrow it down with the check boxes beside each user. They turn the user's log activity on and off in the viewer. So if I just want the production office logs, I can turn off everyone else, and then only the production office activity is visible. Okay, now let's look at managing access for the different users. We click the User button, and that brings up the Rights Access Management window. We see here the 4 users currently online with us of the project. myself, Karis, production office, and the first AD. Let's use Karis as the example here. Click Karis, and we see here the 3 levels of access that can be granted to any user. There's Administrator. This is usually reserved for the person who set up the project, but you can grant administrator rights to any of your team members. Administrator has universal read and write access to all aspects of the project, as well as invite and block control over all users who are not administrators. Next, there's the normal user. This user is allowed read and write access to the project as set out by the administrator. Within the limits of their access rights, they can edit a project, but they do not have global rights such as deleting a project. Below that is the inactive user, and this is for blocking user access to a project altogether. This is useful for when your collaborator list contains people that you work with regularly, but are not on this particular project. You can simply turn them off here without the need to delete them altogether. These next 2 options are View VIP Info and Read-Only Access. Read-Only Access is a shortcut to grant a user only the ability to view any aspects of the project that have not been turned off. If we click on the box, we see any green pencils in Karis's access change to View Only. But let's go back to View VIP. This allows the user access to the contact info for any element that has had their information VIP protected. Let's go to Contacts for an example. Here is the cast member Daphne Pertelli, who plays Nina, and we see next to her name is the VIP tag, and this is turned on and off here with this Laurel. Okay, now let's look at how we grant specific rights access to specific areas of the project. Down the right-hand side of this list are all the different areas in the project that we can turn access on and off to. Here we have the different boards, all of our columns, the calendar, and the various print options, and each is labeled with an icon. The green pencil means the user can read and write to that area. The green eye means the user can only read that area, and the red no access icon means just that. This area is invisible to the user. For example, Karis has full access to Scenario A, but read-only access to Scenario B, and no access to the default board. We change the access simply by clicking and choosing the appropriate icon. If we wish to change the access rights to all the boards at once, we can use the Edit All button as a shortcut, like so. Okay, now let's look at rights access for a couple of specific areas. First, if we go back to our main window, we'll see this green lock icon here, and this is a shortcut to rights access for the different boards. Now we're in board A at the moment, and if we click the icon, it brings up a short menu for granting our users rights access to this board. Here we can quickly open access to everyone, make it private, or customize the access to individual users. We'll leave that open to all for now, close that out, and if we choose Scenario B, we see that the icon is now gray. Open it, and we see that's because this board has been set to custom access. Now we have one further option here, and say we have a crazy schedule idea that we don't want to share with anyone yet. We can duplicate Scenario A, call it James's crazy idea, and then using this box here, set it to private. We see that the lock icon is now red, and clicking on it confirms that this board is indeed private and is now visible only to me until I'm ready to share my idea with the world. Okay, let's look at rights access when it comes to our printouts. You'll see we have the same lock icons down the side of our printouts here, and they denote the edit rights status of that particular printout. Green is open access, gray is custom access, and red means that access has been blocked by an administrator. Okay, so far we've examined everything from the administrator's point of view, but now let's take a look at how things are viewed from another user's perspective with regards to rights access. I'll log in now as the production office, and for this example, certain rights have been limited to read-only. Other rights may have been set to no access, but as a user, we have no way of knowing that because anything that is set to no access simply doesn't appear on our project window. So we log in, choose our project from the recent projects list, and here we are in the main window. Now we're in board Scenario A, and there is nothing out of the ordinary here. I can drag strips around just as I could when I was logged in as the administrator. But when I click on Scenario B, we get a red banner across the bottom saying Scenario B is write protected. And sure enough, I can't drag strips around, nor can I add strips, daybreaks, or banners. We'll see though that I'm able to access the cast pull down, which means I've been granted the ability to add and delete cast. You see here as well that my access to edit the synopsis has been restricted, probably because of my spelling. Anyway, now let's look at how the rights access restrictions affect my print options. Click Print, and we see in our print window that some of the lock icons are gray, meaning that there are user restrictions in place. And we also see the edit functions of Schedule Style A are all grayed out. We click the icon next to Style A, and we get a mini accessibility window that is grayed out, and sure enough, we, as the production office, are read-only and cannot edit this print option. Now, in the instance where I, as the user, really want to have a copy of this print option to edit for my own purposes, I can always duplicate the template and call it something else. Now at this point, the default for copying a template is to make it private, so it will only be visible to me until I am ready to share it with the world. When I am ready to share, I click on the icon, and then I can change the access rights to either all users or create a new custom rights access list. Another area where I, as a user, can make custom rights access work for me is the Notes column. Click on the plus sign and then scroll down to the column preferences, and here we can create a new Notes column. Call it Office Notes and set it to private. This way I have a method of tracking notes to the project, but only I can see them. An alternative is to custom set the access rights to this column to only those who want to be able to read it, effectively giving us a private method of communicating with a select few members of the team. Here I choose Custom, and then turn on only Karis's write access, so she and I are the only ones to see the notes. Okay, I'm logged back in as the administrator here now, and we'll look at two last quick points about rights access. Click on the Users button, and we get our Access Rights window. Down here in the right-hand corner are two more buttons, Copy User Rights and Accessibility Overview. Copy User Rights is the shortcut to making one team member's access rights the same as another. Choose your user, click the button, and you'll be asked which of the other users you'd like to copy. An Accessibility Overview simply brings up a side-by-side comparison view of all the user's access rights. This window is fully editable, so you can change any user's access rights here as well. Okay, that concludes our look at working with online projects in Fuzzlecheck 4. Be sure to check out the other tutorials, and if you have any questions, please send an email to info@fuzzlecheck.com. Thanks for watching.